One of the things we talk a lot about on this channel is relocating, and some of the places that we talk about are Dubai and Bulgaria. Okay, so these are both places that I've spent a fair amount of time. And I just saw a video today where somebody was talking about cost of living in places, and they mentioned something about Dubai, and I was like, ooh, I don't know what you're really talking about there, but different than my experience. So anyway, I have spent the last 2.5 months or so in Dubai, and wanted to give a little bit of a comparison in price between Dubai and Bulgaria because it's pretty big. So that's what we're going to dive into today. I'm going to give you a few specifics. Obviously, it depends specifically what it is that you are looking at. But that being said, I'm going to give you an idea of what items are cheaper, which items are more expensive, and a bunch of other things around that. So before we do that, if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button. Thank you for being here on our channel, Offshore Citizen. Really appreciate your support. Hit the notification bell. Make sure you stay informed. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're interested in help with relocating abroad, getting second residencies, citizenships, official or unofficial, setting up companies, bank accounts, international tax planning, paying the lowest legal amount of tax possible, etc., please reach out to us. You can book a call with me at calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer, link in the description below, or check out our websites, offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com, and send us a message through there. Okay. All right, so here's the little immediate contrast, all right? So first of all, just for some sense of context, in Bulgaria, we have levs, okay? A lev is approximately half a euro. It's pegged like 1.95 to 1, and the dirham in UAE is pegged to the US dollar. It works out right now to approximately 4 to 1, okay? So that'll kind of serve as some illustration of the costs here. All right, so my wife goes to get coffee at Starbucks. A small, whatever it is, she gets a latte with almond milk, and I don't really know, I'm not really a Starbucks person, but the small coffee apparently costs her 26 dirhams, okay? So, that's about like 6 euros. A medium of all the same in Bulgaria cost her 3 euros, okay? So basically half the price for a bigger coffee, all the same things in there, both in Starbucks, okay? So it's like brand for brand. Tells you a lot more expensive. Go out grocery shopping, all right? In Bulgaria, I could buy 3 large bags. Really, it should probably fill more than that, but like a lot of groceries, right? Like a small shopping cart, mostly filled, for about 150 levs. I was there recently, and my wife kind of asked me to guess, and it was like 156 levs. So anyway, pretty inexpensive for groceries. Now I'm going to talk a little bit in a second about how there's certain brands that might be different on, but widely quite affordable. That same number of groceries in Dubai, my guess, hard to say because, again, it's very specific, etc., but just kind of like if you were to average it, is probably about 300 euros. Like at least 2 to 4 times more expensive. It's a lot more expensive, okay? Let's talk about housing. I saw this video. In this video, they said it was like $2,500 a month to live in Dubai. And I'm like, I don't know how you're living. But, and to be fair, look, there's people who, make very little and, they live in certain areas and they can find places super cheap and live with roommates and things like that. So it's not like there are ways to live for less, right? You can go to Deira and you can, buy inexpensive food from, various different places. But if you're going to live in the marina area, in downtown, on Palm Jumeirah, etc., you're talking about a lot more than that, okay? So I would say that for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment, you're probably looking in medium to good areas. And, you're talking about maybe like 1,200 square foot, around 120 square meter, up to maybe 2,000 square foot, like that kind of place. You're probably looking typically in like a decent building, etc., at 3,000 to 5,000 per month. That would be like what I would expect you to pay in Dubai. In Bulgaria, something like that, you would probably pay, so in like the city center area, kind of similar. Now it's probably not as nice a building. The buildings are not new. The finishings maybe aren't as good. So there are definitely, like, you're not really comparing apples to apples, but you're kind of comparing similar for similar place, or similar location for similar location, similar size for similar size, right? You're talking about, I would guess, somewhere around 800, let's call it 750 to 1,500 euros. That's kind of like the range that I would expect. You can pay more, you can pay less, just like in Dubai. You can pay more, you can pay less, right? So gives you some context that, again, you're talking about, I would say 3 to 4 times more expensive. Maybe like on the lower end, you can get it a little bit off of that, but you know, at least double. Let's talk about some other stuff. Vehicles. Vehicles are pretty inexpensive in Dubai, and fuel is definitely cheaper in Dubai than in Bulgaria. So that's something. What else have we got? Cell phone plans. So a full unlimited everything cell phone plan in Bulgaria that roams everywhere in the EU, that, you know, fast data and calling and all that kind of stuff is like 25 euros a month. In UAE, let me see, what was I paying? You're talking about somewhere around probably 40 to 50 euros a month, something like that. And that wouldn't be for an unlimited plan. Maybe that's like, you know, you've got, I think it's 50 euros for like a 22 gigabyte plan, if I recall correctly. So kind of, again, gives you some context, like about double, right? And that, by the way, doesn't have kind of the international, well, I mean, it has some internationalism to it, but less so than you would get in any EU plan. So that's another one. What else have we got? Restaurants. Whoa, very different, very different. Like, it's tough, I would say, to go out and have a meal in Dubai for 2 people, like small meal, for less than about 250 dirhams. So around 60 euros would be like starting price. It's difficult to be under that, I would say. And it's very common that one dish, like I would go to some restaurant and get like a chia pudding or something, and I'm probably paying 60 to 80 dirhams for that, right? By contrast, in Bulgaria, I mean, you know, you're getting a Caesar salad, it costs you 5 euros. You're getting risotto, it's 4.5 euros or 4 euros, something like that. Again, dramatically cheaper. Dramatically cheaper. Again, you know, it depends where you go. Yes, you can go some places that are less expensive, but that would be pretty normal. You can go some places where you can get very inexpensive haircuts. So a haircut in Bulgaria at like a pretty decent salon is going to cost you like 20 levs, about 10 euros, right? In Dubai, that's going to cost you, what did I pay, 60 euros or something like that? Like a lot more. Generally speaking, brand name clothing, so things like, for example, say, well, if you're going to go and get high-end brands, you're talking about typically 30, 40% more. In places like Zara, could be double in a lot of cases, like a lot more expensive. There are some exceptions, like we priced out, if you're going and looking at some of the Cartier stuff, it was actually not that much more expensive. By the time you factored in VAT, etc., it basically came into, you know, slightly more. Electronics, on the other hand, are cheaper. So in Bulgaria, electronics are pretty expensive. If you want to go buy like a new Dell XPS laptop or something, you pay a lot more than you would pay in the US. I think I was looking at double or something, like a lot more. Whereas in Dubai, you tend to get very inexpensive stuff. So anyway, that kind of hopefully gives you some idea of just like, okay, food, accommodation, transportation. If you're going to get a taxi, they're relatively affordable in Dubai. I would say that it's pretty normal that you would pay maybe like 10 euros or something to take a reasonable taxi ride. Of course, a normal taxi ride in Bulgaria, in Sofia, would be like 3 euros, right? So it's still a lot different. So anyway, why do I tell you this? I tell you this because, you know, depending on, you know, what type of life you would like and what sort of income you're in and what kind of makes sense to you, etc., you know, it could be really advantageous for you to get the lower cost of living. And especially if you're basing yourself out of a place and just traveling frequently and not really there, you know, do you want to have a 5,000 euro a month place that's sitting empty? You know, it depends on you. So anyway, I hope that helps. If you have questions, put them in the comments below. Share with me your experiences. Would love to hear, you know, some people I do know go to Dubai and they spend a lot less and, you know, they're very economical, great. And some people spend, you know, a lot more. So anyway, I hope that helps. And I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Hopefully give it a thumbs up and we will talk to you soon.